Do you see yourself as a true adult and more spiritually advanced compared to you as a child, as an adult, and as an old man? Probably no. With more experience and a little more knowledge and wisdom, you just feel that you're not much different from your childhood. It's probably because I'm the form of myself in my body. And I'm the body that doesn't change as my body changes. By the way, if I were to have souls and spirits in you, or if other beings were habitable, what would I be? I am what I commonly call myself. But if I decide on a name, a sense of belonging, and add fame and character to it, I will leave that name as well. In other words, if you put active effort into a field, you will become renowned philosophers, politicians, scientists, novelists, filmmakers, and intellectuals and religious leaders who demonstrate superiority in that field. The question arises as to whether only those who win and make a name for everyone in the world will survive forever. If you look into each person's details, it will be quite different from the standard that people see from the sky whether they have done a reasonable and legitimate job. What will happen to those who are useless but have lived truthfully and sincerely? All the curiosity becomes overflowing and overflowing. Past life storytellers argue for the hypothesis of reincarnation, in which humans go from animal to human and back to animal, and we often see cases of remembering past lives through testimony and hypnosis from those who remember past lives, but they are not credible. They say that if we become an animal, a bug, or a person, the structure of nature requires a super high-level computer to evaluate and deploy my past life, not a supersized computer. Each heart should be remembered and evaluated, which may seem plausible in a small population. But can you imagine this if it applies to the world of more than 10 billion humans, hundreds of billions of animals, and worms of thousands of diameters? It is a principle of the sky that is inappropriate for irrationality. And if we are intoxicated with this irrationality with more than 7 trillion stars like the Earth, it will be even more difficult to understand the sky. Well, we grew up listening to a lot of oral fairy tales and stories since we were young, and stories of fairy tales in the sky, stories of going to heaven with an angel after death, were already thousands of years ago. It means that there was someone who came down and taught us, Melchizedek, who served as the ideological leader of great philosophers in the East and the West. Melchizedek teaches a lot across the East and the West, and this guy that we know now, he taught us a story widely. There are certain laws and principles in the sky, and there are many beings who work to achieve them, and even today, those people are still active even though they are invisible. The truth is that we have higher spirits surrounding us than Melchizedek today, and Melchizedek left Earth 2,100 years ago. Not only are those beings superior to us, but the swings are doing their own thing. Among the angels, the guardian angel is always around us or accompanying us, doing tremendous things when we are in danger or in need. I'm sure each of you has experienced a lot, but I'd like to tell you my case. When I was in the 4th grade of elementary school, I frequently fished with handmade fishing equipment one summer, and a large sewer pipe about 100 meters from my house was descending through the lower part of the road to a large stream, so I went in there to fish. But when it started to rain, I thought it was the right place to fish while avoiding the rain, so I continued to fish in it. As the rain got stronger, I was more relieved and I continued fishing without any worries. My mother's voice began to be heard faintly from a distance. I keep fishing without answering why, but my voice gets closer and closer, so I come out of the fume tube as if I'm lazy to answer. He doesn't even use an umbrella, gets wet in the rain, and scolds me, saying, "It's raining this much, so why are you fishing?" Soon, in less than 10 seconds, more than half of the water in the fume tube is overflowing.